you how to order pizza over the internet.
The internet? Is that thing still around?
News Talk 1430 WXNT. Now back to the edge of the web with Aaron Sparks.
You're listening to Edge of the Web Radio with produced by Site Strategics. We got a special day here. It's New Media Day, and we actually are hosting a group of college students from IU of Kokomo. Guys, say hi again! Hey. You guys enjoyed the show so far? Excellent, excellent. Site Strategics is a search engine optimization. If you're just catching up to us, we're a search engine optimization web design company that really are focused on social media, search engine optimization, search engine marketing, all together. Like you say, John, this is inbound marketing,
right?
You know, and bringing traffic to your website that doesn't know your company name. If they're looking for a service, they need help. If they're searching, if they're looking on social media, you need to be there. The conversation is happening with or without you. And I think that's pretty dramatic to actually think about, is that if you're not playing, if you don't have a budget or a focus in this marketing element, somebody else is actually picking up all those leads, all that business. So our services include that, and I'll tell you what, you can always reach us through the week on, we don't even give our information out today, have we? It's you can find us, give us a call at 877-SEO for web. That's 877-736-4932. You can also reach us on sitestrategics.com, but guess what? You can also find us just by typing in Indiana SEO or Indiana social media. Guess what? You find us right at the top of the list. Edgeofthewebradio.com is where we actually have our podcasts, and you can also find these podcasts free for the taking each hour on iTunes. Just download them there. Just search for Aaron Sparks or ERIN Sparks or Edge of the Web Radio. We also have a YouTube broadcast that we put in place that are basically tied into every one of these different segments that we do on YouTube. Just search for Edge of the Web or Site Strategics. You'll find that. And we've got a nice list of different videos that we've been doing regularly, thanks to our producer, Tom Broadbeck. We're putting together a heck of a lot of good visual information in these YouTube pieces as well. So what we're doing is we're doing a New Media Day. We actually have a cool thing going on here. We're doing a show with a IU students, and we're also going down back to our office here after the show, and going to have a more extended dialogue about these different things inside of new media, and we're talking about careers in new media as well. What I wanted to do real quick is talk about some revealing marketing stats. One of the students here was asking about business relation. You could, pardon me. There's not that much in a curriculum about how social media actually ties into business, and on top of that, even into marketing and ROI and things of that nature. The execution's there, but how this actually relates to business is a little bit nebulous. There it is, 3 times in one show. How about that?
That's the word of the day.
That's the word of the day. What we're going to talk about real quick is an article from HubSpot called 12 Revealing Marketing Stats About Facebook. I just want to talk about Facebook for a second, and Facebook sometimes gets a bad rap. That's more of a personal connection, what have you. But businesses are thriving on Facebook, and we want to talk about some of those things, right? Point number 1: Facebook matters for businesses. The number of businesses say Facebook is critical or important to their business has increased by 75% of polling research. How does that compare to business owners' opinion of Facebook marketing in 2009? Well, 62% of the
24% in 2009, and then 42% in 2012. So it's a 75% increase.
That's right. It's a 75% increase. But it's not just... Hi there. It's not just Facebook. We're talking 62% of marketers said that social media has become more important to their marketing campaigns in just the last 6 months. So where you guys are in your pursuit of social media and new media, this is the burgeoning industry. This hasn't even been fully formed yet. You're in an environment, and I think it's the nature of the beast. It's going to continue to evolve. But you're looking at something that's cutting edge. And what's great is that it's not defined. You can actually strive to actually create new environments where success can be measured, but there's continual entrepreneurial focus. There's new ideas that can then crop up and just make a huge success for companies with not nearly as much effort as it used to be in traditional industries.
Yeah, that's correct.
It's being embraced in a much larger and a more aggressive faction.
I mean, with every new adopter, there comes a little bit of risk involved. But I mean, Facebook ads, for instance, businesses that get into Facebook ads have seen success. There's success stories, but at the same time, Facebook's hasn't been given the ROI to businesses and has been questioned with the platform because it's not near as mature as Google AdWords. So
That's right. And we talked about last show about the difference between Facebook and Twitter is exclusively interest driven as opposed to association driven, right? And I mean, that's something that a business has to understand, is that inside Twitter you have currents of information and concepts, where Facebook is much more of a plugged-in type of atmosphere. But I mean, for example, just talking about marketers' investment in social media actually does make sense, because social media has, as surveys say, 100% higher lead to close rate than outbound marketing. I mean, that's just fantastic. It definitely makes sense to invest in Facebook for marketing. Companies that actually acquired customers from Facebook, according to the survey, B2C customers, that's business to consumer, up 77%. I mean, that's astronomical numbers. Business to business is 43%, right? So who's kicking the most butt on Facebook with Facebook customer generation? Retail is the top industry that has acquired more customers through Facebook than potentially than education, than tech and software, than healthcare, than manufacturing. But they're all steady. They're at 40% levels. Retail's at 90%. I mean, think about that.
I totally agree with retail here, but I have to say that it's going to matter the type of business that you're in, the type of social media channel that you choose for advertising, because Google Plus might end up having a certain market that Facebook does not. Twitter, based on your interests.
Isn't that market just Google employees?
Yeah, it could be. It could very well be. So.
But
no, I think it's going to be the type of industry, type of business that's going to be plugged in that you're going to want.
So that's a very, very, very astute observation there, John. Because what we're dealing with there is
nebulous.
It's nebulous too. Is that not all social media is the same? You just can't go into social media. There's a retail path inside social media, and we all know that Pinterest is just fantastic. Be able to show product and be able to have them go straight over to that product page to add to cart.
I bet retail's help.
Oh, it's
profiting from that as well.
Absolutely,
and hairstylists.
And exactly, and kittens with mittens.
Yeah,
exactly. But that's retail, but healthcare is in a different environment where you're going to have more interaction inside of a community-centric standpoint, where you can actually get more referrals of hey, they treated me nice over here, and having a endearment factor as opposed to that click and buy, that line of sight type of interaction, right? So where do marketers struggle with Facebook, right? Well, marketers struggle with Facebook in lead generation whenever they're struggling the most in lead generation, not from increased exposure. Increased exposure is up 85%, but increased traffic, product, providing market insight, all those are up. Their lead generation is one of the least interactive elements, or I should say the least yielding. But here's the deal. We have to change our concept of what really is important whenever we're dealing with internet marketing. It's not just about getting that lead. It's about creating that relationship. It's about creating that atmosphere of trust, where you may actually have an environment where you're trying to persuade, and that persuasion is not. I think it's basically the understanding that lead generation is no longer the same thing that it used to be. If I can get so many people to buy this, then that shows my ROI. It's actually the return on objective. What's the objective of this branding exercise? Is it to get more visibility? Is to create a larger knowledge base of the customers about your field or your dedication in this, or your personality of the business? Those are things that can't really be measured by something falling into a lead form or something like that. So as much as they're struggling in that environment, they're still not. That's not an accurate way to actually measure success sometimes, you know? A couple other points here. Facebook timeline has helped with engagement. The interactive content is actually leading the way for engagement. Interactive content is what we're talking about with new media. We're talking about, but
we talked about photos, and photos is what's engagement.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Visual content, and on top of that, being able to take that content and be able to pull it along for the ride, and you give something for the consumer to be able to use in different ways. If I can give you a photo that you use on your social media, on your Twitter, on your Facebook, on your Pinterest, guess what? You are now endorsing my product into a far greater reach than I ever could as a brand management environment, you know, a brand management execution. So you're getting those consumers to carry the baton with you and bring it to that trusted environment of consumer to consumer relationship. You're listening to Edge of the Web Radio with soon to be Douglas Carr here. You just showed up here. Appreciate it, sir. What we're going to be talking about here is some careers in new media here in the next segment. So stay tuned. You listen to News Talk 1430 WXNT. Edge of the Web Radio. Talk to you real soon. Bye.